So I thought it was time that I'd plan another 3D sculpture, but this time do like a sketch beforehand, just a pencil sketch. Now I've got a Stedtler, I can never pronounce that name, Mars Lumograph. It's a black 6B pencil. I got this free with an order of pens. It's like a test sample, so I'm just going to sketch with this and just see how it goes. Now I've got an idea to do like some kind of 3D sculpture that involves a rotten looking head. So I want to try and sketch something out. I want the teeth to be like that. So this thing, I want like loads of tentacles coming out of it at the bottom, which I'll probably create with foil and other stuff. I just want the initial sketch to try and just work out how I'm gonna sort of tackle this sculpture. Don't know if there's going to be any teeth on the bottom or it's just going to be like tentacles. I think I'll do teeth on the top. And I want this all to be really textured, rotten skin and flesh, so I can sculpture that up and layer it up and things like that. It's not really like a skull, this one, it's more like a demon's head, and don't know what I could do in the background. Maybe like burnt flesh in the background. But particularly no, just running along with an idea. Since this is Thursday's vlog, this sketch, I might try and start this tomorrow, try and sculpture this like 3D artwork, try and stick with it this time. I know I've still got part 2 of that other one that I did on the canvas. I really want to finish that one as well, because I had some good ideas for that one as well. And all this, maybe this sort of like black burnt flesh at the back. I can make these sort of like slightly raised on a canvas or something, but these tentacle tongues are going to actually come off the canvas, you know, like disappear off the page sort of thing. Be more 3D than the rest of it, even though it's kind of all, well, I know what I'm on about. Try and actually finish one of these projects. I've got some other stuff in the shed which I ain't really finished. The spiders have took over there in the shed now, so I'll have to clear all that shit out, but yeah. But these, this is sort of like just a really soft pencil anyway. It's darker than normal graphite, so I can get a bit more shadow in there. Just plan out this sketch, because try and do this sculpt and finish it. So So I just come up with ideas of how I can do this. Maybe like lots of tin foil, cling film, some paints. I think it's the painting that I'll enjoy most, you know, most things really. Well, I still enjoy making the thing, but I think it's the paint work that sort of helps bring it to life. So that's the thing that I want to try and master. And you know, yeah, it's a good idea, this one. Typical what I usually draw, but yeah, I want to try and have a go at this. Try and make something that I can just stick on the wall and scare everyone who just comes around. Maybe they won't come round again. That's the idea. Anyway. So. Just draw them teeth in there. The eyes, I'm not too sure if they're going to be like some kind of weird bug eyes. They're going to be bulging out their head as well, so can always work on that a bit more. So it's more like a demon head, this, like I said before. Got to work on trying to get the head raised out of the canvas. I might work on a larger canvas, and if I don't finish the sculpture, then I'll make sure I will finish it within a reasonable time frame, sort of thing, and not leave it hanging like the last one. But I don't know, I usually start stuff and never finish it, but I've got to really knuckle down and actually finish stuff. Or else what's the point? Anyway, I'm just repeating myself. So I've got this sketch. These pencils are actually quite good for sketching. They show up a lot better than the softer HP pencils. So today is 3D sculpture time. So today is 3D sculpture time. So today I want to create a 3D sculpture, pretty much like the sketch that I just showed you. So I've got like it's like the packaging on the front of a paint your own mask. So I want that to be sort of fixed, sort of on the side, because it gives enough room to do a jaw. But what I need to do is I just need to cut this section out and keep that section as well. So I've got to carefully sort of cut just like this. Once I get really into this, I'm going to do a time lapse and talk over what I'm doing. That might be a bit more useful. So I've cut that jaw section off, which I'm going to keep, which I just said. But I've got like you know, so we can do like a longer mouth, maybe a bit further down there. I'm going to fix these to the actual canvas, and yeah. So I'll keep some of that paper that's still on there, because it might help hold the mask shape to the canvas. Oops, dripping glue. Nice one. Will be messy, this bit. So yeah. So I want to position this, like I said, round about there. It leaves a good amount of space for that bottom jaw piece. And you've got to let this bit dry. So take that bit of glue off, pop it on there, and then glue this bit down. Put plenty of glue on. This is PVA glue, so it'll hold it for now, but when I add more to it, it'll strengthen a lot of the stuff. So yeah, I'm just going to put this away now and let it dry. So the glue's near enough dry, not quite, but I just can't wait to get into this. So I've got some like tin foil and a roll of cling film, but that'll be for later. So I really want to try and, you know, do something with that over the top. But I think it's important to put the cling film, you know, because I want like tentacles or something coming out of its mouth. So it's best to take a sheet, a large sheet, and decide where the longest part is, and then just start creating a tentacle shape to roll it up. At the end I want a flat sort of flap like that can glue down, and the rest just like a tentacle type shape. And once I've got that shape, I can maybe just tighten this one, maybe, or something to wrap around. Maybe wrap some more foil around it. Get the longest way. Just bulk it up a little bit. Remember, that's the flap bit that I want to glue down, and the rest is just the tentacle bit. There's some tentacles will be sort of bigger than others, so yeah, it's usually the way. So yeah, I want all these tentacles sort of coming out of the sort of mouth. So I'm going to glue that down. I might have to tape it down as well over the top. Plenty of glue there. I've got some like masking tape. Let's get that excess off there. Maybe have this coming around this side. So just hold that there. Joe will hold that bit. Get some tape. There we go. Let's get that tape in there. A lot of this taped area will be covered anyway, so try and shape it all like that, and curve these around, and then just do another one. So I'm going to switch to time lapse now, because it will just go on forever and ever, this one, if I just kept it real time. So, and I'll be talking over everything that I do as well. So here we go. So here I am, just making another tentacle. Later on down the line, these tentacles get covered up because I sort of changed my mind about the placement of this horror sculpture, and wanted to like try and add like skin and flesh and stuff onto it. You'll see by the end of this part one, where I, you know, add loads of cling film on later. But for now, these are the tentacles. At the time I was gonna just leave the tentacles there, you know, just work on the face and things like that, but I added a bit too much cling film on, but then I liked the way it turned out anyway, and I also found some teeth that I was given by a Facebook friend who does all this, who really got me into this, so cheers for that. Yeah, it's one of them processes that I quite enjoy, although I make it up as I go along, these things, and you know, the tentacles, you know, was like going to be a good feature of this like horror, like sculpture, but then yeah, I really needed to add some like skin tone, you know, skin textures, I mean, on top of this, and you know, that seemed to take over the sort of sculpture really, but in a good way. It's, you know, you don't know until you try, and you know, you just change your mind as you go along, and that's what I did with this one. So yeah, I still feel that I need to learn a bit more about this and how to sort of, especially like eyes and stuff, like I have a bit of trouble, you know, forming the eyes on these horror creature things and things like that, but that'll probably come in time, I think. Yeah, there I am, just laying on a top layer of tin foil. I glued that bit on, and that was just like to, because I'll be using the heat gun later on, and the tin foil, it sort of deflects a bit of the heat so it doesn't melt the plastic underneath too much. So I just put a bit of that on, and yeah, just pinched it all together and made sure it looks okay. Well, I quite like it at this stage. I like all the metallic stuff, but just adding little pinched areas there. Here's me adding like the cling film on. I like to do this in stages, and then get the heat gun over it, and it shrinks the plastic right over it, and it holds a lot of them tentacles in place. Like I said, I did put a bit too much on it, but I can't be helped. It's just a process that you can usually go overboard with. The same with drawing, you know, you can overdo drawing, or you know, things like that, but I did think the more cling film I added, the better it'll hold them tentacles, because they was more loose than anything else. So that was just a decision I made. Yeah, so it held it all pretty tight and close together, so that was pretty good. At one point I did think it was just going to all catch fire, because a big puff of smoke just came out, and you know, although you probably won't see it on the camera, it just I just had that vision of it just, you know, burst into flames or something like that. Had a few little problems like knocking the camera, but that can't be helped when I'm trying to work on this. I think in the future, like an overhead camera fitting would work better for this. And like I said, I'll try and work out the eyes there, but the eyes just seem to shift anyway throughout this sculpture. Still adding more cling film, trying to make it tighten the sort of sculpture together a bit more, and creating some texture. Here I've got like some acrylic sealant, which I thought about adding just to seal a lot of the, especially the cling film, because you ever try to paint over that, it'll just peel off or rub off or whatever. So I thought about adding like a nice textured acrylic sealant over the top, and sort of like create a bit of texture with that instead of the cling film. It seemed to work actually. I was quite surprised with the way I applied it, just with my hand, the rubber glove. Yeah. I'm thinking back, I wish I would have got a blob just to make an eyeball or something on one side of the head. But I suppose I could do that at a later stage. But yeah, it just took a while just to apply all this acrylic sealant. And at the time I was thinking about adding little textures and stuff like that. I think I'll do that quite soon with a piece of wood and cocktail stick and just try and test it. Yeah, I suppose I could have done more of that, but it's more of an experiment than anything else, and that's just the way I like it, really. these sculptures, I like to do more of them, get better at them if I can. And, I'm trying to make some textures there with a piece of wood and maybe scrape up the last remains of that sealant from my hand. Trying to get in all the cracks and stuff like that. I did miss a few areas, so I'll probably have to go back over that at some point, or things like that. I've got a little cocktail stick where I'm just trying to add some little bits of texture. I don't know if it worked too much, but it was good to try at least. Maybe I have to get some more tools so I can carve stuff in and things like that. At this point I'm thinking early on what colours I'm going to paint this, and I think I always wanted to do like some kind of red fleshy lump mass coloured thing, so that's what I did. I tried to dry a little bit with the heat gun, but I think it was best to leave it for a bit. But before that I added some teeth, some ready-made teeth, right in the places where the mouth should be, after I've added all them tentacles and things like that. It's a bit difficult to place them in, so I had to spike them with the other end and then just jab them in, but the acrylic sealant should hold them. I suppose that is neat. Right at this point I've just set in the teeth, but there must be a better way of setting in them, those teeth. But I'm going to just let this dry completely before I start painting it. I've missed a few bits on the top, but as long as I get the main bit where the teeth are there, and then a lot of this is just flesh and skin and stuff being torn apart probably. I sort of like lost the tentacles underneath, unless I can bring them back, I don't know. I might just evolve the sculpture as it goes along and just see what comes out of this. Yeah, so I've got to let this dry. I'm gonna do tea and eat like a pig. Cheers! So now it's night time and I've just got the daylight lamp on. I'm just shining some light on the subject. You can see all the teeth and that. It's near enough dry with all that acrylic sealant. There's probably some wet bits still. Maybe I have to leave it overnight, but I think I'm going to spray paint it white just to catch any areas like you can't really see up close, but there's little gaps here and there just on the cling film and a bit of tin foil here and there. So I just want to add some spray paint over this. I'm not going to spray over the teeth, I don't think. I don't know, I could try. Try and catch some of the areas that I've missed. Maybe underneath. Keep shaking it. There we go. Really looking forward to adding some, well, paint effects to this. It might be later on, it might be in the morning, so I think I'll carry on maybe in a part 2 trying to do this and just follow through with it really and just try and finish it, just strengthen some of the areas up. I've got the window open, so a lot of this will just get ventilated outside because you need to have ventilation with this paint. Just makes it more whiter as well. Spray it all in there, all in the holes everywhere. I'm gonna see, because it's only 10:30 and I don't feel tired at the moment, so I might just see if this will dry. In fact, I've got the heat gun, so I can just dry bits of it. Just to spray off the bits that I've missed on the top. Right, I think that'll do. I'm going to let this dry for a bit and then maybe get the heat gun out just to speed up the drying process. And I think I'm going to add some, maybe like a light red to the whole lot except the teeth, and that'll be like sort of like the mid-tone, and I can add shades on top of that and then highlights and things. So yeah, that'll be pretty cool. So I'm just going to do a time lapse of me painting all this in red except the teeth. So I'm just adding some red paint, red acrylic paint. I tried to water it down just to help it flow a bit better, because it did dry slight, you know, like where it becomes a bit sticky and you know you can't do much with it. It is a bit difficult to fill in all the cracks on this and things like that, but it's just the way it, you know, is. You know, with any painting project, things like that. So did do it in stages where I did a bit and then came back to it, so it wasn't one continuous long sort of painting process. There we go, just a bit more. I will need a smaller brush for the rest of it, which I will be doing in part 2 tomorrow. You have to think about the shadows now, maybe mix a brown and a black together. So this is taking longer than expected, lots of little cracks and, you know, like nooks and crannies to try and paint in, you know, and I've got to get a smaller brush to go around the teeth because I don't really want to get the teeth all red, not if I can help it anyway. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to call this a day and continue this directly tomorrow and try and do more of a paint focused sort of thing. So part 2 coming tomorrow. I'm just going to carry on throughout the night, well, most of the night, and try and do these fine bits, try and get all the red absolutely covered on this. All the white spaces need to be painted red, and some of the acrylic hasn't properly dried, so I need to leave it overnight really. Too eager to get the paint on, I think. Anyway, I'm going to leave this video there, so part 2 coming tomorrow. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers now.